It's very valuable for our experience and able to try and get as much game time as we can and hopefully show to the manager what we can bring to the table and earn a bit more trust. And the main thing is try and get as far in the competition as we can, as we've done pretty well in previous years. So hopefully we can continue that.
Obviously, the year before last semi-finals, wasn't it? So, I mean, it's another chance. It's a chance to get to a cup final, no matter what people think of the competition. Yeah,
definitely. Obviously, people see it as a bit of a smaller competition, but it's still a chance to play at Wembley for all of us boys. Everyone wants to be able to do that. It's a cup competition we want to win, really. So we want to be involved. We want to get as far as we can. And obviously the experience is invaluable, playing in front of thousands of people like Portsmouth and things like that. It's really good.
And of course, it's a competition where a majority of your first team minutes for Exeter City have come. I mean, you know, strangers to competition, you know how it works and you're used to it.
Yeah, I've played quite a few games in this competition now. It's such a good building block, trying to bridge the gap between an academy player and then trying to get into the first team and be an established player. So it's an opportunity for all the boys that are in and around it that probably aren't getting all the game time. They got a chance to do well and hopefully prove themselves for the next games coming up.
You look at some of the under-21 sides in the competition. I think Chelsea are probably one of, if not the strongest out of all the sides in it from the under-21 category. I think they got to the semi-finals a few years ago as well.
Yeah, definitely. Chelsea always bring a good team. They've had many youngsters that have made it into their first team, similar to us. So, yeah, there'll be a tough test, but we're ready for it. Hopefully we can take them on. We're at home, so we'll bring the game to them.
I think you take a look at the lineup for Chelsea when we played them here in 2017 in the same competition. Mason Mount, Reece James, Callum Hudson-Odoi, three of the players. I mean, and you look where they've gone now. So there's a potential tomorrow night that you could be playing against, you know, the next big breakout Premier League star, the next England player in 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, definitely. It's another chance to play against some of the best players in the country. That's what we thrive on. That's what we want to play in every week. We want to play against players that test themselves, and hopefully we can show that we can stand up to them and be just as good, if not better, than some of them.
An academy like Chelsea, you know, they've got the multi-million-pound setup. They've got the players. Is it like playing a league match when you play these under-21 sides, or does it feel just a little bit different?
I'd say it's ever so slightly different in terms of they'll probably want to play the ball a bit more. They've been brought up through the academy and they play a lot of football, whereas in League Two, you're in the nitty-gritty of it. It can be a physical game, but we're going to try and change. We'll try and play our own game and hopefully take it to them and see how they can deal with us.
How's it been for you so far this season? You've been in and around the first team set up a lot more in a more normal environment, if you like, because last season was strange beyond belief, as we all know.
No, obviously it's nice to have a bit more normality back in terms of even turning up to games and seeing fans there. It's much better for all of us. It's a bit more, obviously the first couple of games is a bit of a shock trying to get back into the regime of seeing people, but no, it's much better. Football's just where it should be again. That's what we need.
I think we saw you faced Wickham in the cup last week, and like you mentioned, it's just so good to see fans back, isn't it? It just seems normal again, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's crazy. Obviously, it's been well over a year now. We haven't had them, and within the first couple of games, we're already back used to having them there, cheering us on, helping us, giving us that extra yard, giving us that boost of energy that we need. That sometimes when the fans weren't there, it's down to yourself to motivate yourself, whereas now you get that little extra boost, which is brilliant. It helps us massively.
I think it's games like this tomorrow where if you have a good performance like you did in the Wickham game, it almost puts you further up the list for cover and challenging for those defensive positions if perhaps there's an injury or suspension or your good performances just warrant it.
Yeah, definitely. That's our job, to have competition for places. There's only going to be 11 players that start and 3 players that come on. So you've got to get yourself as high up the order as you can to be able to be, if you're not the first one, not first one starting, and hopefully first one coming on, and build yourselves into getting into that starting 11. And these games are invaluable for that. It's a great opportunity to put yourselves out there.